Well, welcome everybody to the first stream of 2025. Here with us, Darcy George and myself, Corey Covier. Darcy, great to have you here to kick off the 2025 season.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks for doing this, getting this set up so we can get a good start to the season going here.
Darcy, it was amazing. I was up there. We're going to talk more about this, but I was at the HPR, the High Performance Riding Academy there on the weekend, which you'll talk more about. But the excitement was amazing to see at the track. All the riders, all the coaches, everyone just seemed to be buckling down and enjoying themselves out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, our first school of the year is always great. It's good to get everybody out. Plus, Test and Tune was the day before, so a lot of folks were able to get new bikes or rebuilt bikes or change bikes out on the track and start shaking them down and start seeing what they're going to be capable of this season.
And it's funny you're talking about new bikes and shaking out bikes. Some other news we get to talk about is riders riding more machinery than what they usually do. So, specifically, that sport bike category we're going to talk about later on. It's going to be a jam packed field this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a big field. The AM and Pro sport bikes. They're going to be packed. They're going to be busy. It'll be good racing. It'll be fun to watch.
All right, Darcy, we'll kick this off here. We're going to be starting off talking about the executive team. So, something that maybe some riders new to the track may not know maybe who to talk to, but also we want to shout out to the people that make all this work happen. This is just a few of the names. Obviously, there's a lot more work that goes out to there, especially yourself, Darcy, all the media coverage that you do, all the social media. So this isn't just these names that are making it happen, but they are the executive team.
Yep, I mean, we have Chad, Darren, Barb, Phil, and Adam. Not to mention we have Sam and Marley that are up in the tower every weekend, making sure that all the timing and scoring are being done properly and getting the grids out so that we know where we're supposed to line up and we can actually go out and participate in our races.
Yeah, one thing maybe to mention as well, maybe for the new riders that might be just seeing this is a lot of people default to Chad Whitehead to solve the problems, but any one of these people, and even some of the veteran racers, can certainly help you out. If you have any questions when you're walking through the paddock this year, feel free to ask one of these executive team members. They are more than enthusiastic to help out new riders at the track.
Yep, and if you have any issues during the race weekend, Kevin up on the start finish. Kevin and Nate are the ones to go to, especially Kevin with our him being our referee. They're the ones to go to have the conversations and figure out if there's anything going wrong, if there's something with grids not right or anything like that. Go have a chat with them, and they'll help get everything sorted out.
Interesting conversation, Darcy, I had with Kevin on the weekend. It sounds like Nate may be stepping more into a role with cars, I hear.
Yeah, well, he's been double rolling with the cars and bikes for a while. So I think after this season, Nate's going to go into a little bit of retirement, and we have Chris Troop, I think, is coming in behind him to fill his role and help out for doing that job. So
So, if I hear that right, Darcy, you're saying if you look after cars, that's retirement?
retirement from bikes.
Yes, and I hear, I'm not sure if he's going to be doing CSBK. We'll talk more about that as well later on, but he's been doing the head marshaling. I believe it's called the head marshaling. He's up there in the tower with Frank and I. He's been there since I've been marshaling, and sorry, since I've been announcing with CSBK. He mentioned stepping down last year or the year before, but unfortunately, with that washout there, he didn't want to end with not being able to complete a year, so he's done another one. Not sure if he is going to compete or going to be up there in the tower again. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, as maybe as we find out this weekend.
We'll find out soon. CSPK is not far off.
Amazing. All right, so what we're going to start now that we've kind of had a little chat there with each other, talked about what's going to happen. We want to go back a bit there to last season there, Darcy. We're going to start off with the Asylum Racing Vintage Open. New sponsor in the class this year, Asylum Racing. They have sponsored in the past, but this is the first year that they have sponsored the Vintage Open. The point standings are there from last year. Blaise Fougier taking the championship. This was amazing one to watch. Phil Warnell and Jack Robowski, they were battling it out pretty much from the get-go, and it was amazing from the crowd's perspective to see the difference between that horsepower of Phil Warnell and the corner speed of Jack Robowski there, Darcy.
Yeah, it was. And same with Jonathan. Jonathan really came into his own on our track this year. They're new to our track, not being around a whole lot. So Jonathan really came into his own, though, as the season went on for this one.
We'll talk a little bit more, I'm sure, about Kathleen as well. We've seen on Facebook she's got some new machinery. She was riding it a little bit last year, but we'll talk more about her and what's going to happen in the class she's going to be riding that new bike in. All right, on to the next one we have here, which is the Nova Drilling Catch 22.
This was an exciting one to watch, Corey. Great races, something for everyone in this, no matter what your skill was or what bike you were riding. William and Jeanette and Pat had some great battles coming on the end of the season. Same with Craig, he was right in there till he got the boot. With 22 being the cutoff for this, Craig got the boot. I believe Pat got the boot at the end of the season. I think he had to sit out the last race, so it came down to two-horse race between William Martin and Jeanette Ball, and it was some great racing. It was some really fun racing to watch. So this will be another exciting class this year.
Yeah, Darcy, I think whoever was the mastermind behind this Catch 22 category, really, I tip my cap to you because it really brought racing right from the get go, close bar to bar racing. Really enjoyed it right from the get go. And for anyone maybe that's new watching, that maybe is new this year, the Catch 22 means that you just have to ride this race and not go below a minute 22. So it doesn't matter what bike you're on, what year it is, how old you are. It's just your lap times have to be lower than a minute 22. So it kind of was, it's like back to that vintage where you had some horsepower versus corner speed. So maybe someone, maybe a little bit quicker in the corners. So it had that battling throughout the whole race, and it was great.
Yep, it was great racing. Great racing.
All right, on to the Bridgestone CSBK Sportsman. Another familiar name at the top there, Blaise Fougier, runaway favorite on this one there with 149 points. Mark Gorkum, great to see him out there with 63. George Church, Chris McRae. Have you heard out on the track, Darcy, about Chris McRae returning? Is he out there?
He is coming back. He's got some. I think he's got some new machinery, if I remember correctly. And he was out for test and tune, my understanding, after having a bit of a wreck there the last round. Yeah, no. My understanding is he was out for test and tune with some new machinery, and he's going to be giving her another go.
Awesome. Another piece of machinery in that sport bike category. I am
Yep.
so excited to see what that has to offer this year. All right, on to the next one is the Stephanie Napier RMT Formula Femme. Stephanie Holman taking the win there on that RS 125. Jeanette Ball stepping up with the 106. Nicole Schneer. I seen her out there at the school there, Darcy. Not sure what she's going to be planning this year for riding, but always great to see Nicole out there. Brianna Mosher and Michelle Perry. Another a couple of riders new to the scene there over the last couple of years. So hopefully we'll see them out there as well.
Yep, we'd like to see some of the ladies step up and get back into this class and keep the numbers up. Stephanie was a runaway winner with this one last year. But Jeanette and Nicole and Brianna were really in there, giving it their all as well. So yeah, we hope to see this numbers come back up for the Formula Femme race to keep this one going. It's a favorite too. It's nice seeing the women out there and they're running. It's a good entry class for the women to start spreading out and grade out, I guess, into some of the other classes as well.
And one rider I was talking to there on the weekend is Sasha. So she's going to be coming out. She may miss a round, but
There's rumors that there might be her and maybe somebody else, maybe former Formula Femme racer making a return. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen there. We'll wait and see.
oh, little tidbit, eh? You're leaving us hanging here, Darcy. I like it. All right, on to the THB Safety Consultants Limited Thunder, and 26 so 26, 28 points ahead. Taking the win was Mark Goodwin, Matt Covey, and Stephanie Holman rounding out the podium. More great battling in this Thunder. Another great category for the competition for the fans. I always love this one. Huge grid. There's 20 some plus riders out there, all different machinery. Darcy.
Yep. You got everything going out there. Stephanie on her 125. There's 650s out there. It's just it's a toss up of who's going to be in that every weekend. So, but another good class with, like you said, with lots of different bikes in it and lots of different riders.
All right, up next, new sponsor for the SRL Racing Series, which is the Empire Moto Works Lightweight 250. And this was a battle that was happening throughout the season. Craig McInnes and William Martin, they put on a spectacular battle for all of us. Down the back straightaway, doing the draft, inside moves into seven, down the front straightaway. It seemed like every corner they were trying to pass each other, Darcy.
It was a great show. There was some great racing happening. The 250 races, one of my favorites, have always been great races, and the last year was no different. It was great watching them out there battling back and forth with the passes, just making a great show for everyone. It was great to see it. It was fun to watch. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that this year as well.
Darcy, you pit alongside Tony and William. Do you know if William is going to race the same machinery this year? Is he stepping up? I know there was talk of maybe doing the R3 of Tony's at the end of the season. Do you know much
I
what's going
think
to happen there?
conversations are still happening. I can't say 100% for sure what's going to go on there, but we might see some things happening there. I know with the change with the 250 class joining the 400 grid, we'll be talking about that a little bit later. It gives an opportunity for some more experience, I guess, as it will be for some of those 250 racers to be out on the track with more bikes and maybe possibly get a toe to some better times as well.
Good point. Yes, too. And one just to finish off the podium there as well, Scott Campbell, always a consistent rider out there. Little under horsepower on that Honda. He's got new machinery as well this year. He's riding the CF Moto. I seen it out there. Great paint job. He does a
Beautiful looking
fantastic
bike.
job
Yep.
with the paint. So it was great to see, and it would be interesting to see how that compares to the other riders, the other machinery, I should say, out there. But yeah, so that not sure if Scott is still going to run the lightweight 250. Not sure if you heard anything from that, Darcy.
My understanding is no that there'll be no 250 racing for Scott. That the VTR will be staying home, and it's just going to be the CF Moto in the 400 class. So it's going to be some interesting battles out there, I think, as well in the amateur 400 class.
Which is a perfect segue, Darcy. Which we have the Mark and his ostrich woodworking amateur 400 category. Mark Wilson, paddock favorite, put so much time into the track, not only helping but with the physical facilities. out there helping with timing and scoring, building, putting in uh, new new door that was in there. He also helped with the stairs along with Mark Goodwin, but also on the track as well. He was with you doing the coaching. So it was great to see Mark take that championship, but yourself there in second. It was close battling between the two of you. Another amazing category out there for the fans to watch. Every round, it was bar to bar. You were taking inside moves. He was going down the back straightaway. Unfortunately, a little bit more horsepower with the 400, but you just have to then make it up in the corners, which you're doing an excellent job. Coming a little bit short, but still an amazing feat there, finishing second,
That was
Darcy.
a great season last year. We had a lot of fun battles. Myself, Mark, Jonathan Anderson, Jarrett, Tony, the whole grid. It was a good season. It was up and down as far as who was leading each weekend going in. Jonathan was ahead, Mark was ahead, I was ahead. So it was a bit of a toss up for the first three and a half rounds. But then Mark he put his head down and managed to pull out some points and ran away with it on us and was able to take the championship. It was good to see.
And it's interesting now. So for any riders that may not know this, they've changed it. This is the second year running the expert category. We'll get more into that the next points here. But if you finish in the top three of the amateur 400, you get moved up or over to the expert 400. So expert lightweight, I should say. So this
Yep.
doesn't mean that if you get into 600 that you're going to have your pro numbers on the 600, but
Oh,
Jonathan, yourself, and Mark now move to the expert category of the amateur or of the lightweight 400 category.
yeah. Three of us now move up, and we're running with the rest of them up in the expert class. And like you said, if you decide to switch machinery and went over to sport bike or super bike, what have you, you're back and you start with amateur numbers again. So we're just it's just in the lightweight classes, yep, that we get the expert numbers.
Something to point out too, you only see five names on here, but another stacked grid with this one, plus 20 bikes on the grid. And you mentioned earlier about the lightweight 250s. We're going to talk a bit more running with these, but that's I think one of the best parts of this series, this class, is that you if you're running near the back of the pack, you have someone always ahead of you to try to chase down to get your lap times down. And it can take only half a season, and all of a sudden you're running mid pack in no time. So it does make for some great racing and some great improvement opportunities.
It does. Having that bunny out in front of you is always fun to have, and that way you can start gauging yourself against it and how you're going to run and find a better path forward, as it were, around the track. So it's yeah, no, it's a nice big class with good close racing.
Up next, we mentioned the Expert for 400. This is the Grant Nesbitt Tribute Series Expert 400. And this one dedicated to the late great Grant Nesbitt, um, a rider at the track, recognized that he was willing, wanting to put the tribute out there and gracefully put the money up himself. And do you remember who that was, Darcy?
It was Bill Watkins. Was he has been running CSBK there from locally last couple of years, and he stepped up and said that he'd like to sponsor this class for this year. As long as he could get it out there, that it was going to be the Grant Nesbitt Tribute Series. After losing Grant last year, great for Bill to do that. Great for the family to see it and know that we're all fans of, and we miss Grant, and that he was a big part of the racing community across Canada.
I've come a little later into the racing series, starting to come to CSBK only about 4 years ago, but his name has it quickly got passed around as a go-to person to help support, talk to, and I'm sure Bill Watkins, as he was going across Canada on at CSBK, that Grant Nesbitt was, I'm sure, supporting him in some way as well. Just seeing this fan support or racing support that has come from Grant Nesbitt is great to see, and thanks to Bill Watkins for putting out uh, the efforts to make this happen.
Yeah.
So taking the win last year was Mark Goodwin, 251, 100, almost 100 points ahead of the second place rider Matt Covey, followed by Phil Warnell. Not sure what the plans are for Matt Covey this year. If he's going to continue to run that CBR 500, it's one of the bikes that up against the Kawasaki 400. Each bike tends to have a pro and con to it, and one con to the CBR 500 is that horsepower down the back straightaway, and we've seen it quite often down the back straightaway. Matt Covey get into the lead, and Mark Goodwin. Nothing to take away from the skills of Mark Goodwin, but when you have that little extra little bit that you can use down the back straightaway, it definitely doesn't hurt.
And that same thing we saw with us on the R3s against the 400s, right? That little bit of extra horsepower on the back. It's just, there's not much you can do about it except hope you can get them, stay with them for the corners and try and keep up through the turns. Mark Goodwin is amazing on that machine, though, that 400. It's just like butter watching him go around the track. So you know, it's a fun to watch, and it's a goal to have, I guess, sometimes.
Mm. And looking at the top five there, there is four of those riders, other than Matt Covey, are on the Kawasaki 400. It is the bike of choice. It's just how racing happens. New machinery come out, and these riders know that that is the machine of choice. Now it's interesting. I seen Gary McKinnon's post talking about the Kawasaki 500 and how now the 400 is down in power. So it's going to be interesting to see over the years to come how now that Kawasaki 500 comes into play in these lightweight categories.
It'll be interesting to see how it works out. And there's also, like Scott's got that 450, and there's also the Aprilia 450 that's now out. We don't see any locally just yet, but I know there is one in CSBK that's running in CSBK this year. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in a couple weeks on our track when they roll in.
And then the good thing, Darcy, is it makes those 400s cheaper. So then um, time for an upgrade, maybe, or a change.
Maybe.
All right, on to the next category. A sponsor who has sponsored the class before. This is the first time in this category, but it's the Good Robot Brewing Company Amateur Sport Bike category. And a new rider to the track. I say new because I'd say anything less than 5 years maybe is still new. So Brad Bork taking the win. Maybe turn some heads out there. We're maybe not expecting, especially with newer riders, only having a couple of years experience to really excel so quickly. And Brad Bork right out of the gate was fast, Darcy.
Yeah. Another exciting class. Amateur sport bike was fast and fun to watch. Kristen out there on her new bike this year, tearing it up with Chris and Nick, and her and Michael Scott had some nice battles going around the track this year. So it was a lot of fun to watch that class this year. It was really exciting. We're expecting some more of the same, I think, going into 25 here with them.
And we were mentioned earlier about the amateur 400s getting advanced to the pro or expert for the 400. Now with the amateurs, these are dedicated now pro numbers. So, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, the top three did get the expert numbers and would be running with the pros this year.
Correct. Yep, they'll be running with the pros this year. But if they choose to run CSBK, they get to still run. They still get to run amateur and CSBK for 1 year, and then next year, if they choose to run, like our our league, they'll be full pro at that point.
Good point. Yes, because essentially they black numbers, but they have a red outline on the outside to
Correct.
signify an expert category.
Yep. Yep. And then if they choose to run CSBK, which I think a couple of them are this year, they still get to ride in amateur CSBK for one more year.
So then we're looking at this rider who's sitting in fourth here, Nick Spencer. Started off super strong. Think he won the first race, if I'm not mistaken, Darcy, but then quickly ran into some bike troubles. Believe it was a clutch on his Kawasaki, or sorry, GSXR 600, I believe is what Nick Spencer rode, and had to take a little bit. His season took a little bit of the back seat. So I'm guessing he's got some new machinery that he is going to be one of the favorites to take the championship this year.
Yeah, yeah. He another guy that was out last week with some new machinery. So it should be interesting. Like you said, he came out of the block pretty strong. So it should be interesting to see if he's going to pick up where he left off last year. It was great to watch him come. He was out. He did CSBK as well, and I think that's when his technical problems started. Was at CSBK. It'll be interesting to see how he fares out with the new bike and what he can get going for this season, where he ends up.
And with that, we now move to the super bikes, which is sponsored by Almond's Plumbing and Heating, amateur category, and some familiar face on the top there, Chris McRae taking the championship. Another rider, he was coming from the car scene there, and when he came to the bikes, he did see the track. You get that racer eye when you can pick the lines and everything, but to go from a car to a bike, it's not apples and apples. And he was another rider fast out of the gate. Within one season, he was battling in the top, and as you can see there, taking the championship. Impressive to see from Chris McRae.
Yeah, it was impressive to see. It was impressive to watch. Again, great races. It kind of it ended with a bit of a bang for Chris, as we all know that wreck near the end of the year there, and thankfully he was able to get up and get away from that without too many issues. And again, yeah, new machinery over the winter coming back strong. It's gonna be fun to watch. That pro grid is going to be interesting. Same with Fernando. I mean, Fernando first year on the big bike. He had it out for test and tune and the school as well, getting everything. He made some upgrades to it for this season as well. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of races and shows they can put on for the crowds out there.
All right, now moving on to the Pro Cycle Pro Sport Bike. It was Eric Stanley, the runaway favorite there. It looks close, but he actually didn't race. I don't know if it was just the one last race or the whole round. He was trying to focus on the super bikes, so he didn't actually run. I don't know if it was. I can't remember if it was just one race, which was on Sunday, or if it was both of them on the last round. But it made it be a little bit tighter there with Jeremy McDonald. But yeah, the runaway favorite was Eric Stanley.
Yeah, it was for that one. And this is the one, like we said, it's going to be interesting with a lot of folks moving up to pro sport bike. It's going to be a busy grid, and it's going to allow for a lot of fun racing to be happening. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, so I guess now that we're on to the pro sport bike category, do we start talking now about the riders that are going to be riding in this category, Darcy, or are we going to wait till the end of the show to start?
Yeah, let's have a look at who we have going up into this class. We've got Kristen Whitehead is moving up. Chris McRae is moving up. Fernando is moving up as well. Not to mention we have Blaze pulling out the Cowie, and he's going to be showing up on the grid this year. So that's going to make for some spicy races. It's going to be interesting.
I'm really looking forward to that. I did not expect to hear that when I went up to the track last weekend to hear Blaise Fougier hopping on to the sport bike category. Love to hear it.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show. Just having the two whiteheads on the grid together is gonna make it interesting. I mean, Chad's got that new bike that he was working out last year and trying to figure out suspension. So hopefully he's got that all sourced and figured out, and he'll be able to put the power down and keep going with everyone.
Darcy, we got another surprise name I didn't expect to hear on a 600 as well, Mr. John Fraser.
Really?
Oh, this is new, hot off the press for you.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yes, John Fraser as well is going to hop on Adam Singer's GSX-R 600, and he's going to compete not only in the superbike but in this the pro sport bike category as well.
Spicy indeed.
Spicy,
Spicy
extra
indeed.
spice. Yeah, I'm just
That
picturing
is going
that
to make
bottle
for
of
some
hot
fun
sauce,
racing.
and it just went up another level of the hot sauce.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's going to be interesting. That'll be fun to watch. That'll be fun to watch.
I was talking with Eric Stanley there just briefly before, just seeing he won't unfortunately be able to make it up. That would have been too spicy, right? Too spicy. No, I would have loved to see it. Love to see Eric up there. Hopefully, maybe round two will be get up, but round one we're not going to see the reigning champion up there at AMP.
Okay. Okay.
The another rider there in the bottom, Crodus Roberts, he was there helping out at the school. Seen some pictures there from the World Bedek facility there, world renowned Bedek facility, getting that bike all ready to go. So interesting to see what Crodus brings to the table this year. I believe he's spent a couple of years just getting rid of the rust and the cobwebs. An experienced racer from a few years ago. Great to see him uh, starting off the blocks. Great right out of the blocks.
Yeah, yeah, he was around for a while there, and then we lost him for a bit, but now he's back, and I, like you, saw the same photos of a disassembled engine sitting on the block down for Paul, or on the desk for Paulie to work on. So it'll be interesting to see what they came up with and what kind of power he can put down as well.
Yeah, you think Paul was sprinkled a little bit of that spice on side of that engine?
He
You think?
usually does.
Yes, he's pretty spicy. All right, on to the last category, which is the Finish Line Motorcycle Supply Pro Superbike category. Rider we were just talking about, Eric Stanley taking his first championship at AMP in the Pro Sport Superbike, category. Only 5 points ahead of John Fraser, followed by Blaise Fougier.
They
Another
battled it out
amazing battle.
hard last year, the two of them. They were at each other all year long. It was great racing. It was fun to watch. It's going to be an interesting season.
For 5 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 races per round, and to end up only 5 points in the difference goes to show just how close this battling was throughout the season.
Yeah, it was, and Blaze was right there with them as well, right? I mean, we all know Blaze and what he can do. So, yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. If Eric's away for a first round, that's a chance for other guys to make up some points. So this could maybe get drug out again to the last round and see how it goes.
I think another thing that's interesting is now that these riders are doing the sport bike, we all have that friendly rivalry that happens whenever you're out on the track. And if that rivalry starts from the sport bike and moves the way to the super bike, I think it's going to make this category even spicier. The word of the stream is spicy, folks, because there's no other way to explain it. The fact that Blaise Fouchier is hopping on a leg over a 600, followed by John Fraser, and not only are they going to battle in the sport bike, but the super bike as well.
Yeah, this is going to be, it's going to make for some entertainment. That's for sure. That's for sure.
All right, so now that concludes the points from last year and talking a little bit about the riders that are going to be racing this year. Starting off the season is only one day away tomorrow.
One day.
Darcy, can you believe it?
One day, thankfully, it's finally here. It's been a long winter. Yeah, no, everything's done. Test and tunes done. HPRA is out the way, so we're looking forward to getting everything going Saturday morning. It's been a long winter, so looking forward to getting out, seeing everybody, and then getting that helmet on and getting on track is what we've all been looking forward to all winter.
And there's something different. Like test and tune, it's great. But that Friday test, just when you know the next day you got a job to do, it elevates it just that much more. Even though it's still practice, it's serious time now. When you pull into that track, it's that when that round one starts, even though it's practice, you just know it's a different feeling.
Oh, it is. It's a different feeling for sure once the helmet goes on, and we're all friends, and we're all it's a joyous place and it's a great place to be. But that doesn't mean we don't get a little bit serious when the helmet goes on.
And I think that's maybe from fan side, some understand it being in maybe sporting categories, but even with racing, exactly what you just said about we're friends when the helmet's off, but when you're on the track, elbows are out, and you're doing everything you possibly can to get ahead of that rider in front of you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter where you place, but as long as you're out there and you're racing with someone, we've been there. We started out in 250s together, and we had some elbows out races on the back, no problem at all. But that's what makes it fun. Nice, good, clean racing, something you can get out, and when you do get back to the paddock, you can laugh and carry on about it, knowing full well that the helmet's off, we're friends again now.
And usually, what happens after a nice battle like that, we instantly try to find each other in the paddock. So the smile is ear to ear, like just, and usually the hands are the first thing that go out. We're
Yep.
like, I was taking you on the inside, I was heavy on the brakes going in there. Yeah, it's the sign language only racers know.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting thing here, CSBK, Darcy, in June. Usually it's even later than that in the July month, but now first week of June.
First week of June. They wanted to try and get down and see if they could maybe weather might cooperate a little bit better with them. I think is what their understanding with it. So yeah, earlier in the season for them. Still the same great track though. Word is the CSBK guys love coming down here. They love coming to Atlantic Canada. They love coming to the track and hanging out and seeing all the Atlantic guys, and then running our nice, tight technical track. The up and down. It's a favorite for them. They like to come here and ride this track. So it'll be great to have them come back. Hopefully everything works out for them weather-wise. So looking forward to getting out and seeing how things go, and watching some great racing there in a couple weeks.
The interesting thing too is in June, we all know bikes, they like the colder, I shouldn't say colder the weather. They don't like the stinking hot weather. They got more horsepower when you got the 20 degrees than you do that 32 that typically comes near the end of July. It was usually around, I believe, the 20th of July, third week of July in the past. So now you're coming at the optimal time, not only for the engines but the tires as well. They get as the word in the racing industry, greasy at that hot temperatures. So I think it's going to be even closer racing right from the start to the finish this year, knowing that the tires are going to last even that much longer. Though everyone has raved about these new tires that are running with CSBK and how long they last. So it's going to be interesting to see this type of weather, what's going to happen there at CSBK.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they hold up. Like you said, with the weather being a little bit cooler, it should make for some great racing for them.
All right, Darcy. Now moving on to last weekend's event. I was able to get the picture there of the current HBRA, and just looking at the size, like William had to take the picture, and it looks like he's standing back like 150 feet because there's so many people that showed up that he had to stand so far back to get everyone in the picture. Great to see.
It was sold out early as well, which was great to see that it sold out. It's something that we love to put on, and we as racers like to be involved in getting out there for the weekend and instructing and helping new people get out on track and see what it's like and experience some of what we experience on race weekends. There's everything from new riders to people who have been out there and they've done 4 5 6 schools. They enjoy going out and doing the schools. They haven't made the leap into racing or anything, but they like doing the schools. So it's great to see, and it's a nice atmosphere when they happen. And I know registration is open for the August school already. There was a wait list at the end of it for the first school for the school that just happened. So now's your chance if you want to get in for that August school before it fills up, and get registered for anybody who wants to get in and get an experience and see what it's like.
What we've seen from the riders that take the school, the track days. Excuse me. The track days, you don't have to take the school in order to do the track days, which are typically the Friday before of a race round, not before, but the Friday of a race round is a track day that you can go on as long as your riding equipment and machinery meet the requirements. But they come with so much more confidence to those track days. They're more predictable. When
Yep.
we say predictable as racers, we it's it's predictability is the safest way to ride, and it seems that all the riders, even if they don't want to get into racing, they just want to be more confident on the track, they seem to be smiling just that a little extra more.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what is it is. It's getting out on track and gaining that confidence, and you said predictability. Learning the line and being on the line is where you're going to learn how to ride right. So pushing that when we're doing the schools, and letting them know, like, if you stay on your line, somebody's coming up behind you. They know what you're doing. You are predictable. They know what's going to happen. So when it comes up, someone comes up along behind you, they know how to safely get around you and make a pass around you where they can do it safely, that you're safe, they're safe, and everybody gets to come back in at the end of the day and celebrate and have fun and go home without any issues.
Yeah, and that's kind of the sometimes part of the sport that can turn people away is that they may have been unpredictable on the track for whatever reason. They might have gone off, broke some handlebars, maybe tore up some bearings, and then they just look at it as an unneeded expense that maybe they'll just stay on the road. And I think if they take this school, it just not only lessens the chance of that happening, but just makes it for a safer experience as well.
It gets that extra bit of knowledge. That's what it is.
All right, we're going to jump back into the racing side of things. I guess maybe I could have organized this differently, but we'll get back into the racing. Throughout the show, we've been talking about changes that were coming. Darcy, we'll start off with the sport bike. We were saying how some new riders are coming in, getting into the pro categories. What's new for the sport bike category in 2025?
So now we're going to have two separate races for sport bike. They're separated now. Amateur and pro are going to be separated out, which means big grids for both classes. Lots of added numbers for them. So separate races for those bikes. It's going to be good. It's going to make for some really fun racing having those two classes separated out with the number of bikes that were on the grid previously. So that's one of the big changes that we have.
Yeah, it's great to see that they're doing that because if I'm not mistaken, it was combined a couple of years ago just because the numbers were going down a bit on the pro side. So
Yeah.
in order for them not only just to run the race, but to have maybe a bit more bikes out there to have that carrot in front of them, because there
Yep.
are some fast amateurs that are sometimes faster than the pros. So just because you're pro doesn't mean that they're always ahead of the amateur. So it gave them some bikes to run with too. So to see that they're separating is only a good sign.
Yeah, it means the numbers are up, and that's what we want.
So lightweight 250 category, both of us have raced in the past. We got changes there too, Darcy.
Yeah, some few changes there. Unfortunately, it's going the other way. Numbers have been going down. We've seen it before. We used to have the CBR 125 class that used to run out at the track, and as people moved, we had discussed earlier machinery changes. So, we went from the 125s to the 250s. 250s to the 300s, 300s to the 400s. So we've seen the numbers go down a bit with the lightweight 250 class. So it was decided to throw them in with the 400 class. So they'll be gridding at the back of the grid for the 400 class. So it'll be expert at the front, amateur in the middle, and then the 250 bikes will be at the end. Like we discussed a little bit earlier, it gives a carrot too for the 250 riders who have come to the top of the 250 class. It gives them something to chase, so that if they get out in front, they're just not on their own. So that could make for some interesting lap times for some of the 250 riders as well.
Yeah, that's interesting because when it was only 4 years ago that the 250 class had double digits, and when I say double digits, I mean 20s on there. And it was almost like overnight that all these bikes just moved out of the country or something, and everyone hopped immediately to the R3s and the 400s all in one season. It was like
Yeah.
everyone collectively made
Yep.
that decision and didn't have the numbers to backfill it.
Yeah, it was almost like it happened overnight. And you know, I'm sure the bikes are still around. I know this week alone I saw one come up for sale. $1,000 for a bike to get into racing. That's some pretty cheap fun as far as I'm concerned. So it did sell. Hopefully it stayed local and somebody picked it up, and maybe somebody that did the school on the weekend saw it and picked it up, so they come out, maybe do some track days and maybe start racing. That 250 class was a great starter class for racing. Again, we both started there. So it made for a lot of fun and a lot of good times, which is a perfect way to roll into Catch 22. This has been a fun class to watch. And the participant numbers in this class have been high, a lot of bikes. So the competition committee decided that due to the numbers of people that were entering the bike or entering the class and how well the class was doing, they were going to upgrade it from one race to two races every round. So in 2025, we'll be having two Catch 22 races each weekend versus one that we had in 2024. So that's going to be twice the fun for those folks running in that class. More of an opportunity to gain more experience and some more fun racing to watch.
Interesting thing too, because it was a perfect segue from the 250. The lap times of a 250 at its peak, they were, I believe, Gary McKinnon, who I wouldn't doubt probably bought that bike. The amount of bikes he has over there at the Gary McKinnon facility, I'm sure he commented on that post being great deal. So I was picturing him, great deal, I'm buying it. But his lap record is 116. He did that. He still holds the record for the lightweight 250. So
Yep,
to
he
know you
does.
have 6 seconds from the catch 22 to the peak of a 250 means you could not only run the two catch 22 rounds or races per round, you can also do the lightweight 250 as well. So I think that's a great addition to anyone that maybe wants to start off in the 250. You get 4 races.
You get
In,
four races a weekend on it.
yeah,
Yep, one hundred
yeah.
percent. That's perfect. That's what you want.
All right, Darcy. It's amazing. Just like the last month or so, it seems to have gone by. 1 hour we've been here talking motorcycles.
Wow.
Amazing. I could talk another hour. I love talking. I was going up to the track for the talk to the riders there last weekend, and I started practicing. I was getting my voice coming out, picturing Darcy coming out of turn two. Oh, looks like he missed the gear there, folks. So I was doing that in the car, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm so excited! I can't wait for this season." And it's a day away.
Oh, it's so exciting. Can't wait. Like last weekend being out for the school, it was great because, some faces you hadn't seen since last fall. Some you got to see over the winter, some you didn't. So it was great to see everybody. That Saturday morning is going to be busy, not just with the bikes, but just with people. Getting around the paddock to see everybody and see how everybody's winter was, and see what they're bringing this year, like we've discussed. There's a lot of big changes for some people in what they're riding, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be nice to be back and see everybody. But it's going to be great to get out on track. That's what we're there for. We're there to get out on track, and it's going to be great to get back out on track and have a lot of fun, and see how we can do for a season.
And another interesting thing too is that Andy Hill was pushing hard to get new speakers set up in the paddock, and fortunately, that is now completed. They might have to do a couple of tweaks, maybe here and there. But Chad mentioned as well that there is now a speaker that can be heard in turn three in the bleachers.
Oh, nice.
So anyone sitting in turn three gets to hear the announcing. Anyone down pit lane, you have now a new experience, as they now have stadium speakers in there that are specialized to direct the sound downwards toward the ground, the way they had it before. Those round ones directed it everywhere. So
Yep.
not only is the racing experience going to be spicy, I got to step up my game, Darcy, and have a
Oh,
little bit of spice
excellent,
up in the
excellent.
tower as well.
It makes a huge difference having you out there, Corey, and having you up there in the tower, and hearing you get excited through the races is, it's just as exciting as the races sometimes when we're down the paddock and we're working on bikes and we can't have eyes on the track. And it's great to have your voice up there booming down over top of us so we can keep an ear open for what's going on. Again, it just makes the weekends that much better, right?
Awesome, Darcy. Thanks for that. And also, just so you know, Darcy, he's been kind of spearheading trying to get the announcing recorded. So any person who has videos, we can try to not anyone. We're just going to start off. We do have day jobs, but we want to try to do some editing, get some of the racing on board video. So there's going to be more of that throughout the season. We're going to be uploading these videos onto the SRL channel here on YouTube. Darcy, you're a big, huge social media pusher, always making great posters. Looking forward to seeing them every round. So we'll be looking forward to seeing those, seeing all the points that are happening. And for everyone that's listening, this isn't a one and done. We're going to be doing this throughout the season, keeping everyone up to date on what's current out at AMP for SRL Racing. But from the voice of SRL, Darcy, the lights are out.
Thank you, Corey. Have a good night. We'll see you in 2 days.